Hey everybody, this is Keith Gleason, host of Indie Comics Relay, creator of the Mighty Mascots, and promoter for the Plastic City Comic Con. I'm here with another comic review. Before I get into that, just want to remind everybody Plastic City Comic Con is coming up in about less than a month now, which is awesome. We have, as always, the best thing about our show is a low admission fee. It's $10 to get in. Kids 12 and under are free parking on site. It's going to be going from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday. It's going to be hopping. So come join us. We got over 150 dealers, artists, writers, creators, crafters, you name it. We have it at the show. So come check us out on July 20th. Also, if you want to jump over to my website, heroenvy.com, you can see all the comic books I make, including Mighty Mascots. And also there's a tab there for all my lettering work in case you're looking for a letterer for your next comic project. All right. Now let's move on to the review. This week I am reviewing Destro #1. This is from Skybound Entertainment. It is from writer Dan Waters and artist Andrea Brezin. This was actually pretty good. I got to admit, I was a little worried about these next two miniseries from the GIJoe universe. Like I had mentioned in my last review for Scarlet, that one I was more worried about than this one. But also because like Scarlet and Destro were never either of my favorites from either side of the war. So I was a little worried, but I really enjoyed Destro #1. Before I get into my thoughts on it, let me read you the synopsis from issue 1 off of the Skybound website, just so I don't spoil anything like usual. The next chapter of the Cobra threat begins here. James McCullen Destro is the man behind Mars Industries, the undisputed leader in providing high-tech weapons to world powers for the right price. But the emergence of Energon has changed everything. As Destro's ambitions grow, the Crimson Twins, Tomax and Zaymont, emerge to destroy their competition, and Cobra Commander realizes his current ally could be his future greatest enemy. Yeah, I mean, that was the start of it. It's really, so it's kind of taken off right where Cobra Commander #5 left off. And it's kind of building. The thing I like about these miniseries is they're building up both sides of the fence. So you got on one hand GIJoe building up and leading up to the formation of GIJoe, and on the villain side you have Cobra and the build up of their relationships and how they've come to power and things like that. So this is because Destro is such a crucial part of Cobra, because of the weapons and Mars Industries being like the company that creates, I think, most of the weapons Cobra uses in the comics and in the cartoon. But yeah, no, I wasn't too excited about this one, but after reading #1, I thought it was great. And I've never read anything by Dan Waters. I am buying the Creature from the Black Lagoon miniseries that he co-wrote with Ram V, but I haven't read it yet. I'm waiting to get all 4 issues. That's how I kind of read all of my miniseries. So I'm waiting for that. And so Destro was actually my first time reading something by him. And it was good. Like I didn't know he's from the UK, and there was like a classified section at the back of the first issue. The creators come in and they kind of talk about what their history is with the characters and what they want to do with their GIJoe counterparts and things like that. But Dan had mentioned that he's from the UK, so he didn't grow up with GIJoe. So he's kind of approaching this property with new eyes and writing this mini series. He's become a fan of the property, which is cool, I was happy that both of these books are good, this one and Scarlet, because I was worried that Cobra Commander and Duke were going to be a fluke, and then this whole new initiative was going to crash and burn. But I'm happy to report that it isn't, which is great. It was kind of interesting too, like all these miniseries, they kind of add one or two other GIJoe or Cobra characters that you haven't seen. So it's kind of cool to see Tomax and Zaymont make an appearance in here, which I believe in the old cartoons, they used to be the financial backing behind Cobra. And in this, though, they seem to be rival arms dealers. So that's interesting. So I'm wondering if they changed that. But I could be remembering it wrong. Like if I'm wrong about that, let me know, because I could have sworn they were like the money or the corporation behind Cobra that funded them basically from the shadows kind of thing. And yeah, no, I really dug it. So also I ended up going down a Destro rabbit hole as I was reading this. So I started reading about different things on, the Hasbro site, and, they have a Wikipedia about Destro, and there was some interesting things that I learned. Like, I never knew what Mars Industries stood for. I know it's been said before, but it stands for Military Armament Research Syndicate, in case you wanted to know that info. They wanted to make him like one of those characters that's like an oil sheik, that's like got all this money and it's kind of playing both sides of the fight, basically, like a real arms dealer, I guess, and how Cobra Commander and him hate each other. But there was also some interesting things about his background. Like, I never knew why he wore the mask. So there's a few things here that I'll read to you guys that I thought was interesting. Destro's key characteristics are his sense of honor, a calm demeanor, and love for Cobra's second in command, the Baroness. He wears a mask forged from beryllium steel, a tradition dating back to the Wars of the Three Kingdoms, when an ancestor of his was caught by Cromwell's men in the act of selling weapons to both sides. Forced to wear a steel mask for his crimes, neither side wanted to execute the ancestor because they still wanted the weapons to be sold. So the Destro clan has used that symbol as a symbol of pride, passing it down from father to son over 20 generations. He also wears on a neck chain his family crest, bearing an ancient Scottish emblem symbolizing absolute power. Destro will sometimes enter battle himself, either as a member of Cobra Command or against them if it's better for business. So I love that. Like, I think he's a kind of cool character, I mean, not that arms dealers are cool, but like, in this fictional universe for GIJoe and Cobra Commander, I like that. I hope they bring some of those elements in, which they seem to be doing in this first issue. The art was really good. Another artist I'm not familiar with, the Andrea Brezin, worked on Dark Ride and Birthright, which those are mostly Joshua Williamson properties. I haven't read Birthright. Dark Ride I'd love to read. I know it's only a 12-issue series. Seems to be kind of up my alley. It looks like a funhouse kind of thing gone wrong. Horror elements, and so eventually I'm gonna probably pick that one up at some point. But I wasn't familiar with his artwork, but it's good. It's very solid. The storytelling looks good. You can follow everything happening. There's no head scratching moments like what's happening in this panel. Everything's clear and laid out, which is good. Lettering, is usually by the great Russ Wooten. He does all the Skybound stuff. So I like his stuff. I think he's one of my favorite letterers working today. Overall the book looks great. It has a lot of variant covers. Yeah, I just buy the A cover. I don't really care about that stuff. But yeah, no, I would recommend this, especially if you're enjoying all the Energon universe stuff. I think this book would be right up your alley, and depending on your mileage with Destro. But I feel like they've made this Energon universe so compelling now that I feel like I have to get every chapter of it, no matter what's going on, because I have a feeling you're gonna miss like a key moment. It's almost like when the Marvel movies were still firing on all cylinders, and you had to go just to see what the after credits sequence was gonna be. Was it gonna lock another part of the Marvel universe, or was it, just gonna be a big part in the next big storyline? Who knew? You just wanted to know, basically. that's why I'm saying, like, when they do a shared universe and they do it right, you get success. And I like also like how they're using Energon to be a player into this whole universe, like the energy source for Cobra's weapons and things like that. So I kind of like that. So I'm curious to see how all of this is gonna, where it's gonna lead eventually, So, but yeah, thumbs up for Destro #1. I highly recommend it. Check it out. Also, start buying if you haven't got in on the Energon universe. I highly recommend it. Grab it all. It's great. It's one of the best things in comics right now. So, all right, everybody. I'll be back Wednesday with another comic review, and then next Monday we'll finally be back live again. We're back on our bi-weekly schedule, which is great. Gives me, Johnny, a little time off between all, because we're, me and him are creating comics, also going to conventions. So getting back to a regular schedule is key for us. So we're finally doing that. We're going to try to stick to it this time. So we'd probably be live every other Monday, unless something comes up, something crazy, but that's what we're planning on right now. We both want to stick to that schedule since we got so much happening, especially going into the 2 crazy months of conventions right now. So, but all right, everybody, thank you for checking out this review. Like, subscribe, share the channel, share videos if you think someone would like these reviews. And then also we'll talk to you later. Have a great week, and most importantly, read some comics. All right, everybody, have a good one, and we'll see ya. Bye.
Hey, it's me, Nicky Noodle, Keith Gleason, and we're here talking about Plastic City Comics.
Oh, July 20th, Saturday, 10 to 5, Leominster, Massachusetts. $10 admission.
Kids free.
Kids free.
Free parking.
Free parking.
You'll see this guy dancing.
Yeah.
This guy wants sodas.
Jimmy, Mouth of the South Heart, coming to the show. We got Dan Parent. We got Jim Salafruff. It's going to be awesome. Get your exclusive Archie covers there. We got 2 of them. Get them signed by the artists. And they're only available at PlasticCityComicCon.
Let's go. See you there.